It seemed like the guilt would never go away. If I could go back in time and change what I did that day, things would be so different now. I'm Anita, by the way. When I was in 5th grade, I moved to Texas. That meant I had to start at a new school, and being the new kid is pretty scary, especially when you're shy, like me. A year later, I moved up to middle school, and I had some friends, but still, I felt like an outsider. I used to sit right at the end of the table and just eavesdrop on what they said. I never joined in with their conversations. They often mentioned this girl called Shada, and they'd always laugh about her, saying she was really weird because she only ever wanted to hang out with girls, and she always tried to hold hands with them. Then one of the boys said she was a lesbian, and that all the girls should stay away from her or she'll try to kiss us. For some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about her. The more people mentioned her, the more curious I became. I wanted to see for myself if she was really like what people said she was like. One day, I asked one of my classmates who Shada was. He pointed towards a girl with dark hair and dark skin. From a distance, she looked normal to me, but then when the bell rang and she got up to walk out of class, I noticed that she was walking behind one of the girls in our class and putting her arm around her. A year passed, and I didn't think about her again. My only friend, Michelle, was on vacation, so I was sitting on my own at lunch when another girl in my class asked me to sit with her and her friends. When I sat down at their table, I realized Shada was there too. I felt a bit scared, but then I smiled at her and introduced myself. And you know what? After speaking with her for a bit and hanging out with her, I realized she was actually such a nice girl. We got on really well, and soon we were hanging out all the time. A few days later, Michelle came back from her vacation, and we got chatting at the bus stop again. But during lunch, I sat with Shada, and Michelle saw and stopped speaking to me after that. I was so confused. But then one of Michelle's friends came over to me and told me that Michelle didn't want to be my friend anymore because I was friends with Shada. I was shocked. And that's when Shada and I became even closer. We started inviting each other over to our apartments for sleepovers, and during the summer, we hung out together every day, and I didn't care what anyone said about us. But then the 3rd year of middle school came along, and things got a bit awkward. People started talking about me and Shada. I heard people whispering about us when we walked by. We'd become really close, and one day a girl came up to me and said, "Hey Anita, are you a lesbian?" She said everyone thought we were lesbians. I told her I was definitely not a lesbian and that we were just good friends. Then I walked away. Often, Shada and I would hold hands and jump around like little kids, but we were just playing around. It didn't mean anything more. One day we were going to class and I shouted down the hall to her, "Call me!" and people looked at me in disgust. One kid even said, "Ew, gross," as if he was disgusted. That whole class, I just sat there thinking about it. They really thought we were a couple. Shada made it even worse when someone asked her if we ever slept together in the same bed. And Shada said, "No, but we sleep together on the couch all the time." I was so angry at her. I actually screamed at her. All of the other kids would get the wrong idea and think we were having sex. That was the turning point for me. And I'm not really proud of what I did next. I ended our friendship. I know it's selfish, but I just hated everyone always picking on me. I just wanted to fit in and be normal. So I started picking on Shada. And that's when people started treating me normally again. I knew deep in my heart that what I was doing was horrible, though. Our middle school graduation arrived, and something crazy happened. I spotted Shada's mom shouting at my mom. She looked so angry, and suddenly I felt guilty. I'd never told my mom about the situation with Shada. My mom came over, and I burst into tears. I told her I ended the friendship because everyone thought we were lesbians. My mom hugged me and said, "You shouldn't listen to other people. They have no idea what they're talking about, and they're just bullies." I realized my mom was right, and in that moment, All I wanted was to get my best friend back, but I decided to keep my distance. You're probably thinking it's because of the bullies? No, that's not why. It's because my mom decided we were moving back to New Jersey, but also because I realized I didn't even deserve her friendship. Shada was one of the kindest people I'd ever met, and all I'd done was put her through so much pain. I was nothing but a selfish brat. What do you think of my story? Please never end a good friendship because of what other people say. And also, there's nothing wrong with being a lesbian. Shada and I weren't lesbians. We were just best friends. But anyway, I did something awful and I still regret it today. Please share your comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.